What's up, YouTube? It's Kami TTC. This time we're back with our One Piece Explained series. Now, if you haven't checked out the other two videos, I highly recommend it. For those that are following me for the first time, guys, I'm an anime YouTuber. I love One Piece. I do One Punch Man stuff. I'll be doing Naruto stuff. So if you love anime, tap in. But right now we're focusing on One Piece. But if you could do me a favor, if you could click that like button, click subscribe, comment down below, that'd be great. It would help me not only get exposed to other people, but also you may meet some friends in this community. So thank you. And so last video, we actually went over bounty and how bounties work, the different types of bounties. And I actually thought a really good segue from bounties was to talk about the systems of One Piece. So what we're going to cover today is actually the 7 warlords of One Piece. Now, this is one of my favorite topics in all of One Piece because it's one of the most contentious, right? People really like the warlord system. Now, if you're not caught up to, I would say about episode 700, maybe even 800 or so, what I'm about to say is a spoiler, but also it's really not that big. But the warlord system is abolished. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the different people that we've seen in the warlords. Then we're going to go through the balance system of One Piece and why the warlord system was destined to fall from the beginning. Tap in. Guys, so when we think about warlords, we typically think about the first introduction to the warlords that we got, and it's these guys. So at the top left, we got Crocodile, we got Doflamingo, my boy. Then we have Boa Hancock, then we have Jinbei, then we have Gecko Moria, who fucking sucks. And then Mihawk, the most busted person that we've never seen anything or seen anything from. And then we have my boy Kuma, who I absolutely love. But when we think about the warlords, those aren't the only people that we've seen. Of course, we have this original iteration, but when Kuma left to then go through the android process with Vegapunk and the world government, then we got Buggy. And then after Buggy, we got Blackbeard. And then after Blackbeard, we got Law. Now, I may be getting it wrong timeline-wise, but we've seen those three come into the warlord space. And also we've seen Weevil. Now, Weevil, in my opinion, probably has the worst character design in all of One Piece. It's fucking terrible, but those are the different characters we've seen be warlords. Now, what we said earlier was we're going to go through the different iterations of warlords, but then we're going to go through the balance of it. Now, when we talk about the different iterations, that stops at Weevil, right? We don't have any more warlords past the introduction of Weevil. Now, that is by design. Like I said earlier, the story of One Piece typically had a balance system. And I actually found this picture on Reddit. I was trying my best to find who posted it, but this is a really good picture. So if anybody knows who posted this, please post it down in the comments. I want to shout them out. But when you think about the balance system in One Piece, this is a really good picture. So it's got on the left-hand side world balance with the warlords and world balance without the warlords. So typically when you think about One Piece, you think about the Marines and the Emperors, right? But it's been conversation that the Emperors would absolutely wash the Marines, including all the admirals together. To be honest with you, I don't disagree. When you look at what Whitebeard was able to do against the entirety of the Marines, right? And mind you, Whitebeard was on his last legs. Whitebeard was literally having a oxygen tank just to breathe, but he was still wrecking people. He was still able to hold that much power at that age. Imagine Kaido, Big Mom, imagine Blackbeard, imagine Shanks, all in their prime, going at the Navy. They're done. So what the Navy had to do was then find some pirates out there that they necessarily couldn't trust, but they knew that if they paid them or if they let them do what they wanted, they would come and balance that power. And so that's what this picture really does for us, is it shows that when you had the Marines with the warlords, they could possibly compete with the Emperors. Mind you, the warlords themselves have pretty big crews, pretty big following. So if they were to couple that up with the Marines, they may have a shot. But after the warlords got taken away, the Marines are finding themselves at a disadvantage. How can they fully go up against the 4 Emperors? So now we know that that's the balance system, but how did we get here? It's really important to dissect this because this is a really big piece moving down the story of One Piece, that when you trust pirates or when you trust a world government, oftentimes places, organizations, people with power, they're some of the most untrustworthy. So we're going to walk through that. Well, I actually think the best place for us to start is to talk about this dude. Now, first of all, this picture is cold as fuck. Love this picture. Doflamingo is fucking amazing. But we really got to dissect Doflamingo. So what happened with Dressrosa was super important. Everybody knows this. But people forget that there was a certain person there by the name of Fujitora. Now, Fujitora is my favorite admiral of all time. I also think he has one of the most broken devil fruits in the entire series, but that's a different story. But Fujitora became an admiral, or he just became a member of the Navy because he literally wanted to bring about justice. And it didn't matter if it was hunting pirates or taking out people in the own Navy system. He wanted justice. We need more people like Fujitora. But if you look at the story of Doflamingo, I mean, Doflamingo is the antithesis to justice. Literally, Doflamingo is evil incarnate in this world. And so when Fujitora saw that Doflamingo was a warlord, and Doflamingo, knowing his past, was a celestial dragon, when Fujitora saw all the transgressions, saw all the problems, saw all the funneling effect of just bad that Doflamingo brought into the world, Fujitora said enough. And so narrative to the story, if I were Fujitora, I can't blame him, because to be honest with you, Fujitora is the blind man that can see what everybody else can. And Fujitora has not only the cojones to say, I'm going to abolish the 7 warlord system, he has reasoning behind it. When he spoke with the king of Dressrosa, Fujitora knew that the Marines would be seen in a bad light, particularly because Doflamingo was a warlord at that time. How could a man who let pirates run wild on innocent folks turn his blade on a warlord of the sea and then act as though he dispenses justice? I mean, come on, bro. First of all, that's bars. You know what I mean? Bars. But he's not wrong. When you look at it, the system is based on a government that hunts pirates and then conscripts those pirates to then work for them. And you think those pirates aren't going to flip on you? Or they're not going to do any shady stuff? Or they're not going to, use their privilege the wrong way? Fujitora is right. The warlord system needed to be abolished. And so without getting too much more into, the reasonings and the deep theories and the One Piece deep cuts, I think this is a pretty good place for us to stop. If you have any questions about the warlords, please put them down below. I also think that one important thing before we move on is that warlords, you don't have to have a certain level of power, but you do have to have a certain level of fame. Just keep that in mind, right? Buggy. We know, buggy. So, guys, I think this is a good place to wrap us up. If you haven't done so already, if you could click that like button, click subscribe, comment down below. Look out at all the other videos we got going on, man. A lot of good stuff. Check out the Blackbeard Explained. Check out the Who is Shanks Really. Check out the World Geography. Check out the bounties. Really good stuff on this channel. Call me TTC out. We'll see y'all with the next one.